1 year. Help me. How's it going, everyone? It's been 1 whole year since I decided to embark on this crazy journey of creating my own game by myself in Unreal Engine with no knowledge of how to make games apart from some tutorials. I also documented the entire journey right here on this channel, so if you're new here, oh boy, you got a lot of stuff to binge, my friend. It's been such a crazy year that today I just wanted to kind of summarize the journey so far and just reflect over this past year. Some of the stuff that I did that I'm really happy that I did do, and some of the stuff that I maybe could have done a bit better. A year ago, I had pretty much no idea how to make games whatsoever. I mean, I had done some tutorials and like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I was like taking long breaks in between, like forgetting everything and then having to start over all the time. So one thing that I started doing was to try to recreate games that I liked and just random stuff. Tried. It didn't go that well. I couldn't really get anything working properly, except Flappy Bird. I did manage to recreate Flappy Bird, but that's about it. I don't know about you, but I just started up and quit so many projects. I lost count, so I decided that I was gonna make a game. It's something that had been on my mind for a long time. I was just like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna commit. We're gonna make a game. We're gonna learn. I don't really know why I chose a boxing game. I never really had like these grand, big ideas of games that I wanted to do. Like, I don't really work that way. It's more like I'll get like a very specific idea. Like it can be an environment or just some piece of controls. And that's sort of how this whole game started. It started out really simple. Just the first thought about this whole boxing game was that you were supposed to like lean the upper body with like a thumbstick so that you basically lean the body independently in any direction that you want, and then based on that you would be able to throw different types of punches. I did this like little prototype. It was like super simple. It was just like some sort of like spheres or something like that. It just looked awful, but that wasn't the point. I just wanted to kind of feel what it felt like, that what was in my head, and it kind of felt pretty good. I was like, yeah, this, you know what, this could actually be something. I was just like, okay, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go with that. Let's make a simple little boxing game. It seemed small to me at the time, the idea. I mean, it kind of was though, because the only thing I was really thinking about was the controls. I needed something a little better than these ugly balls, so I just started modeling some sort of dummy character that I was going to replace later, but I actually ended up really liking the look of this character. It just looked it looked a bit different. I mean, it looks a bit like the Michelin Man, which I didn't actually think about at the time, but the whole character kind of stuck with me, and the fact that they feel like they're made out of rubber or something, it just kind of really went with the theme, because I didn't really want to make a violent game. It was not supposed to be about that, and you guys really seem to like the design as well, so yeah, I'm really happy that I didn't go for anything more complicated than that. Right before I started working on the boxing game, I was trying to make this snowboard game or something like that, where you kind of go down the hill, and it's kind of the same idea that you lean your upper body to sort of direct the skier, because that's what it feels like to ski, but it just didn't work. I was just totally out of my depth. So I think probably that's actually where it came from. It started as a skiing game, Ski a Bunch. After I'd set the whole thing up, it felt pretty good. I was pretty excited about it. So I was like, okay, this is the idea. I'm gonna make this game. It's gonna be like a local multiplayer that you can play against your friends. 1 versus 1, like simple game, no problem. Because obviously I had read online that overscoping was a thing, and the idea felt small to me at the time, but obviously I totally overscoped. It was way too big a game for me to handle. Like I was just trying to get things to work, like and setting things up, and I had to do things over and over and over again because it just wasn't working, and I was doing things wrong and had to restart because I set it up wrong. I decided to go with Unreal Engine because it seemed to have more features than Unity, and I just like I'm not a coder, so I couldn't. In Unity you kind of have to build your own tools a little bit, and I didn't feel ready for that, and I feel like Unreal Engine had a lot of stuff already built in, so that's why I kind of went with that. But everything took such a long time. Definitely I've learned a lot from this, but in hindsight I should have definitely started with smaller projects, just like a month-long project, finish it and move on to the next. I don't really think I told anyone this, but my initial idea was that I was going to finish the game in 6 months. Yeah, that went well. I didn't want to say that because I knew that probably that wasn't gonna happen. But yeah, so if you're thinking 6 months, then you're probably way off. I was, at least. But it was okay because I was having a lot of fun and I was really like learning because I had like this overall goal now. So I felt more like inclined to learn as I was building the game. And I saw this GDC talk about physical animations and how you can, as a solo developer, add a lot of life to your animations by adding physics to the body parts so that you can kind of do crappy animations. Because if you look at the animations I did for the boxer, they look really bad. It looks so awful, but when you put the physics on top, it actually looks pretty good, I think at least. And that is all built into Unreal Engine, which was also a huge benefit. Unity doesn't have that. And it was around this time as well that I started uploading YouTube videos about my progress, because I'd seen a lot of other people do it, and I just like, man, this is so cool. Like, you can follow someone's journey. Because one thing that had scared me for a long time about making games, which is kind of why I never really went for it, was that I didn't want to spend like 3 years in the dark making a game that you just don't know if you're gonna sell it, right? So I was it just seemed like a stupid idea. So I had like worked ahead. I think I had for about 3 videos before I started publishing, and then I don't know why, but I was so nervous about this. Like, what if people started watching and then I would just screw it up or something? I don't know. But I started uploading these videos, and I like kept working on the game and implementing more and more features. I was pretty tricky because I had like a full-time job at the time making visual effects for movies. I was working at Industrial Light and Magic, or ILM. So I was like working full-time during the day, and then in the evenings I would work on the game, but I was also making these videos. And my goal was to make like a video a week, which I kind of kept up, but not really. It was, I don't know. Personally, I feel like I handled it pretty well. I didn't feel that stressed. Yeah, now in hindsight, it was crazy. But I feel like I had this goal of like, okay, I'm gonna work on this game and I'm gonna make these videos, and we'll just see what happens, I guess. What also happened like really early on is that I started getting all these followers. Like, you guys showed up. It took like, it was like 4 or 5 videos before we hit like 10,000 subs. And I had like 10 subscribers when I started uploading these videos. Remember that? So I started like feeling this pressure, like, oh my God, there's so many people watching. I gotta like deliver on this game now. It's like, I was like working like crazy and like trying to like keep up, and all the while like,
Party Pants! Oh, it's been 2 days since you published. Where's the next video? Woo!
guys, it takes time to make games. But at the same time, I also feel like that was like what kept me on track. I got like so motivated by the fact that you guys showed up. And the weirdest thing was that people actually seemed to like the game and get excited about the game. But I kept implementing features. I kept doing all this stuff. It was kind of weird because it was like, at some point I wasn't even making the game to make the game. It felt more like I was making progress on the game to make videos. And I think that was really healthy because it kept me focused on stuff that matters, if that makes sense. But yeah, as the months dragged on, it definitely started wearing me down. This whole day job, work on the game, make a video every week. It was just getting super crazy. So something that I haven't really mentioned, Vivian, my wife, also started making a YouTube channel around the same time. She makes videos about home decor, which is kind of unrelated, so I haven't really talked about it. So we kind of both were trying to get something off the ground and basically make income online instead of relying on a job. And now at the time we were in Vancouver. Vancouver is like one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in. The real estate is crazy. So we were just like, we got to do something that will allow us to kind of move out of the city. I was getting really stressed, I think. I didn't feel it, but it was starting to like wear me down. So around last year in November, I was making enough money to kind of sustain myself on it. And Viv's YouTube channel was also taking off at the time. So we kind of had the same sub count growing all the time, but now she's at 90,000 and I'm falling way behind. So guys, please help me get to 100k subs before Viv. In the end, we decided that we were gonna quit our job and move over from Vancouver to Vancouver Island because rent is cheaper here. So we were gonna reduce our expenses so that the YouTube income and stuff would be enough to sort of sustain us. And then we would be able to quit our jobs and do this full time and reduce the stress. And now we live here. But I also, like, right after we finished the move, when we had to just settle down, I just, like, completely gassed out. Yeah, I burned out, for sure. I couldn't even like think about the game. But I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just take a break on the game and I'm gonna keep making videos because I really didn't want to lose the connection with you guys. So I actually, and this is gonna sound crazy, but so instead of working on Punch a Bunch, I signed up for a game jam, which was basically to make a game in 3 days. Yeah, that's not stressful at all. Actually, here's the cool thing. That was actually the best thing I'd done in this whole time. If you're working on a long-term project and you're starting to feel burned out, work on something else. Take like a break, do like a month small, just like a tiny project. It may be something that's been in your mind for a while, something you want to try out. It might seem like you need to rest, but you don't. We don't need to rest. No, rest is good, but don't rest too much, because I started getting into this mindset where I was just like moping around and like feeling demotivated. It was really refreshing to just think about something else. So if you're feeling yourself a little bit stuck, I highly recommend to just do something else for a bit. Do another project. But anyways, I kept working on the game. I also released like a little tiny demo of the game where you basically just fight against a dummy, and I released it to you guys so you play it.
You wait for it. You wait for it.
Come on, give me.
Bang, bang, bang.
A huge positive feedback on that. You guys, most people seem to really enjoy this idea of how the game works and the mechanic, and you were like, oh man, you gotta make this multiplayer and put an AI and stuff. At this time as well, I was trying to make devlogs, but the progress was so minimal because I just needed to kind of tweak everything and just kind of make things work. And it doesn't really make for a very visual excitement. I was just, okay, I'm gonna take a break from making Punch a Bunch videos for a bit and figure out the next step. It's been like a couple of months now since my last devlog, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting. I'm sorry. Don't worry, it's not canceled. God damn it takes time to make games. 2 months? You think 2 months is long in making a game? I don't want to spoil too much because there's a new devlog coming out very soon. But I'm basically working on making an AI for the game, which is super exciting, and I've finally made some pretty good progress on it. Like, remember, I don't know how to make games, guys. Like, you want to take Pontypants, an idiot, and have him make an AI in a game? Like, are you crazy? Like, that's just doesn't make any sense. But I've finally learned, I think I understand now. So that's gonna be the next step for Punch a Bunch. I also obviously want to make online multiplayer work for it, but with the physics and stuff, I just don't know if it's gonna be possible. I'm aiming to release the game first, maybe in early access. It will have local multiplayer, obviously, but online, I do want to make it, but it just seemed like I'm too stupid, guys. So definitely we have a lot of feature creep happening. As you work on the project, it just sort of tends to grow and you tend to add new features that you want to do. But at the same time, I don't really see it as a problem, like that is taking a long time, because I'm learning so much from doing this project and like constantly keep pushing forward. But I also learned that just working on one project is maybe not such a good idea. I'm really excited to start doing other stuff as well. Some of the things that I regret, I should have started making smaller games, like more incremental games, like small game, a little bit bigger game, and like actually finish stuff. But it worked out in the end. I'm really happy I stuck through with it. But yeah, it was not a good idea. The best decision though in all of this was definitely making this YouTube channel. I'm having almost like more fun making YouTube videos than making the game, which also like really motivates me to make the game. Or I can work on this full time mainly because of you guys. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who stuck around, especially to you early birds, because I see you guys commenting still, and I know you're here. Yeah, this whole year has just been such a crazy roller coaster. I'm really excited for what's to come this year, guys. It's gonna be another incredible year, I'm sure. My plan is to release something in 2021. Like I said, there's another devlog coming up really soon. If you want to come along on this journey with me, and if you want to support me and this channel, then the best thing you can do is to simply watch another one of my videos. It really helps a lot, and it gives me a lot of algorithm juice with YouTube. If you want to stay in touch, come join me on Instagram, where I post random pictures of, I don't know. I made this render over the weekend, which I just put up there. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, join me there. It's a piece inspired by this artwork from Kershid, who is in our Discord server. So if you want to join the community, then join in on the Discord. We have a lot of fun in there. It's gonna be another cool year, I guarantee it, guys. 100K this year. Come on, help me to 100K before Viv. Okay, enough. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.